Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John. I'm just going down to meet my good friend Stephen Turnbull, and I'm travelling through a thing. Actually, the sign's been taken. Just shows you kind of have now, can you? Don't know if you can make that out. This is called the Nook. Fancy name in an alleyway. I've always thought it's a bit strange. Anyway, when I go down there, I'm going to get attacked by a herd of dogs by the look of it. A herd of dogs. I will show you a couple of things on the way that might be of interest to you before I meet up with Stephen. Here's a funny spot for you. Right about here was where I received the biggest of my life. Actually, I made a video for it and put it on Facebook talking about the story I wrote about it called The Greatest of My Life. What I'll do is, if I can find a bit of footage, I'll put it on the end of here. But if you want to know where it happened right there. So on my way down to the centre of Whitley Bay, over there is Bay Books and also Bay Books Movies and Music. Now, I must go in there and check out what the records are like in there. I haven't been there for years. Used to go in there quite a lot. It's not open that much, but I'll definitely go in the next time it's open. Now, an interesting factoid. The fella who owned that, I did actually sell all my, well not all mine, but most of my my VHS to him. So it ended up with him. God knows what happened to it. Imagine if it was still there and I would get a bit of it back, which I highly doubt. But that's on the way to meet Stephen there. So just walking down here just before I meet Stephen, Deborah told us about this the other day, Mama Roo Records. I've been to the website and I've had a look now. I think I'll be popping in there after I see Stephen, and I'll show you if I get anything. Might not be able to film anything there, I severely doubt it, but you never know. It's interesting to have this pop in the middle of Whitley Bay. Brilliant. Just before I meet Stephen, that over there, that News Force, is that place that I showed you in one of my videos when I used to go to the video shop there. I think I say it's more like a video like stand, but it's amazing to think that that's still exactly the same shop as it was back in the day. It's open the 80s there. So that's where I'm going to meet Stephen there, the local Wetherspoons. Just had a great time with Stephen there. Can't wait to show you the stuff I've got here. You wouldn't believe what's in this bag. It's absolutely amazing. Also, I went to that record shop and I bought a record. I'll show you that as I get back. And also, I talk about, because I had a good chat with the lad in the shop. So, yeah, I'm going to get yourself back home before this rain starts in earnest, because it looks like it's going to hammer it down. Look at the camera, John. Okay, so see you soon when I get warmed. So it's great to meet Stephen Turnbull once again, and we are going to plan to meet very soon. Now I'm going to leave a link in the description down below to my last video when I met Stephen. So what I'll do is I'll take you through what Stephen has given to me, and I got a sweet deal on some of these ones. And when he gave us a list of things that he had, these ones popped out straight away. These are movies that haven't seen for a long time, but wanting to get to see, wanting to have in the collection. And also, as well as that, Stephen has given me some great stuff here. I can't wait to show you what was in his bag. When he pulled it out, he's pulling these things out, I was like, I don't believe what I'm seeing here. This is so retro. This ties into my sort of theme at the minute of getting like into retro stuff and talking about like yesteryear. These are things that I just can't believe I own them now, thanks to Stephen. So first of all, in the ones that I got off Stephen, I got Death Wish 4 and 5. Now this ties into a recent getting this off John Hall recently, Death Wish 1, and also the Umbrella, which is this is Umbrella, Death Wish 2 and Death Wish 3. So this now completes my set of Death Wish movies, the 5 Death Wish movies. Death Wish 2 is my favourite, if I can rank them. Death Wish 2 first, then Death Wish, then Death Wish 3, I'm going to say, and I'm not too sure between these two. I haven't watched them for such a long time. I got these out on VHS. I remember this one, especially on VHS, I used to get out quite a lot for whatever reason. But I can't wait to get into these now. These all look in fantastic condition. And this is great to actually finally complete this Death Wish series. And I'll put some screenshots up of obviously when I took so what the picture quality looks like that. So first up was Death Wish 4 and Death Wish 5. Death Wish 4 is The Crackdown, and Death Wish 5 is The Face of Death. Good title. Next up is a one that I saw this a long time ago. John Hall brought it over, and I'm sure the one that we got might have been cut. It might have been the full version. I'm not too sure. but I know that John Hall had this on a sort of VHS from the Limey from Vimey, and he said, you've got to see this movie. And when I watched it, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It's another one that's kind of just really disappeared in UK markets. Now, this is from America. It's a Severin one, and it is Turkey Shoot. What a film this is. This is so, it's one of those ones where they've got this camp and they let the people out and then they chase them and they shoot them. It's like a bit of a sport game, but there's more to it than that. This is from 1981 and it's got some great stuff on here. And I was always interested in this movie, and I do like the fact that they've put this title on. This title here, Turkey Shoot, is one of the best titles you'll ever find. The alternative title was Blood Camp Thatcher. This is actually a UK-made movie, if you can believe it. But really, really excited to watch this one. It's one that's the name. When I heard about it, the name was really, it spoke to me to say, what is this about? It just has a great connotation, doesn't it? When I saw this in the list, I thought, yes, please. So if I ever had to do a video of like great names, this one would be in it. So that's Turkey Shoot. Next up is another one that I used to get out of the video shop. Now I'm sure, well, yeah, the one in the video shop was Cut to Ribbons. I know for a fact it was. And I'll put a picture of the actual VHS cover that I used to get out. A great cover. It's one of those ones where you get the great cover look and you think this is amazing. And also I've heard a different title for this one down the line, and I thought, I don't know, because when I watched it, I didn't get a flavour of that at all. But I haven't watched this one, the full uncut one, and it is Cut and Run, or Cannibal Holocaust 2, as it's spoken about sometimes. This is from Code Red, actually. This is the one that I remember watching it on the VHS and being quite disappointed with it because I was expecting lots of blood and gore. Didn't really get it, unfortunately, in the VHS one pre-cert. And yeah, it is what it is. It was cut, but this one is going to be high on my list to sort of revisit. It looks absolutely amazing. Even though this says region A, it's definitely region free. So they're all region free. I don't know what this one says. No, this is multi-region. This is region free. This is region A, but it's not. So if you ever want to get it, and the picture quality in here is stunning, actually. I was thinking that picture quality would be a bit average, but it was unbelievable. It's amazing what they can get. I mean, Code Red is a funny label. It's a one that you just kind of, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get with Code Red. They're a strange label. Well, it's run by one bloke, or it used to be, and he used to sort of do all the stuff himself. That's why I used to take it forever to get your stuff. I haven't dealt with Code Red for a long time, but this one here is a stunning release. I'm really excited to see it. So that's Cut and Run. Next up is a one that I needed to get back in the collection because I used to have it there on the white box ones. But my good friend Keith from Euphoria Pictures, linked down below, he was looking for two ones to go in here to complete that set. Now I knew I had one of them, and he has got the other one, so he's got the full set of this, and it's absolutely brilliant to see them all in one place. So I thought what I'll do is I'll just go and pick another one of these up because it's not out of print or anything, not with a white box, but just like a regular one. Couldn't find it anywhere, but actually it was on there. It was one of the ones that Stephen was offering for sale. So I got the Exterminator. I got this back in the collection, which is great because when you're looking for it and you can't find it, you think to yourself, I really want to watch the Exterminator. This is a great movie. This is the one I saw on VHS a lot. It was really a big VHS thing for me. Also, as well, it's got a poster in here, or a postcard, yes, for City of the Living Dead, City of the Walking Dead, which is actually Nightmare City. It's also got the booklet in as well. These are in perfect condition. That's the thing about Stephen's stuff. I know that they're in. I mean, wait to see these things. I know they're going to be in amazing condition. So there was no way I was going to say, well, I think these might be a bit dodgy because he's a collector. So you know that you're going to get some good off the collector. So the Exterminator, great film, great print on it. I do think that somehow I just think this is going to get a 4K somewhere in the US. I just, when you feel it in your bones that something's going to happen. So those were the ones that I purchased off Stephen. So absolutely amazing. And that'll finish off my Death Wish thing. Really excited to see this, although I wouldn't call it Cannibal Holocaust 2, although Ruggero Deodato did direct it, so maybe that's why I said it. Turkey Shoot and the Exterminator, brilliant. So, as you saw in the video, I did go out and buy myself a bit of vinyl. So that's a shop in Whitley Bay. It's amazing to have this type of thing in Whitley Bay, just to a record shop you can go to and buy these records. It's amazing. So this is the record I picked up from them. I'll take you through it. I got these from Dave Ramsden again, as you know. I'm going to protect these new ones, any new vinyl. I'm going to protect them as much as I can with all of these benefits, you know, these covers and stuff. This cover is quite tight, actually. Now this has got an amazing booklet in it. I said to Deborah, because this band reminds me of Kraftwerk, this is why I bought it. I say this band, I think it's just a guy. Also, it's got a download code as well. You can download the actual songs, which I did do. There's a track list in there. It's got very little information on this album, but you can see it. It's got a sticker there as well, which I don't think you'll be able to make out, because I can't read it. Yeah, Silicon Personal Computer. I'm going to leave that on. There's a shrink wrap on. So yeah, there's them. So I'll show you the vinyl and then I'll show you the amazing booklet. What I've done is I've put in here, there was no actual, if I can get it. That was just going into this case here, into this sleeve, should I say. And I just thought, yeah, it hasn't got anything in it, you know, the plastic. So I thought, right, Dave Ramsden has come to the help there, and I've got that there. This is a great vinyl, this. Look at that. Sort of, I'm going to say, well, it's definitely yellow. But what type of yellow, I don't know. There you go. Minimalistic, which is, if you're going to do anything that's like Kraftwerk, you need to do something minimalistic, because their albums are literally, well, there's not nothing in them, but they're very minimalistic, as I keep saying. So this is gonna keep this as good as it can. I'll leave a link down to a song in here called Personal Computer, first song on the album, and you can hear what it's like, you know, see what they think of them. But I think $12.99 for a vinyl album, 2015 this came out, is pretty good. So here's your booklet. I don't know how many pages there is in here, but quite a few. So I'll take you through it. Bearing in mind, this is the album cover. There's the album cover there. So let's have a look. Like that one. Now, when I first opened this, I thought, right, I'm getting this. I can see what you're doing. You're putting your different colours on. But is there going to be any lyrics in here? Is there going to be any liner notes? So the further along I got on, I found this to be quite hilarious, because I thought they've done, I don't know how many pages in here, quite a lot. Maybe 32, you know, and 24. And I'm thinking, surely not. There's going to be some form of writing in here. You know, even telling about the actual band or the singer or anything. And I came to the end and I thought, nope, there's nothing. And I said to Deborah, I said, look at that. I said, I find this absolutely hilarious. And she says, what a waste of paper. And I could kind of agree with her, but I thought, nope. I thought, for me, I'm going to say it's a kind of like a joke, like an in-joke, maybe. I'm treating it like that. I'm treating it that they've done the Kraftwerk thing and they've made a Kraftwerk statement about it to say, look at this. This is more Kraftwerk than Kraftwerk, possibly. So yeah, so that's it. That's Personal Computer by Silicon. When I went to the shop, I was talking to a guy, he was a great guy. I said to him, I'm going to call back in. It weighs a ton, this. Probably because I booklet, obviously. And yeah, so that's that. So I will go back to Mama Roo's and check them out. But Great vinyl. So after all the things I knew was going to get out Stephen, he had other stuff in his bag. So first up, he got out this one. This came free with a network Hammer House of Horror, which I got it from the last time I was with him, which sits round about there. I think it's there. And it's amazing to actually have this. Now, the thing I didn't realize about this was that when I looked through it, I saw two faces of evil. Now, there was a thing I always thought when I was watching these, the House of Horror and House of Hammer, and I used to be really petrified by it. I used to always think there was an episode called Doppelganger. And every time I talk about it to somebody, they always say, I'm not really sure about that one. I say, you know, the one about the bloke who gets, there's a bloke with a monkey fingernail. I say, oh yeah, I know that one. But they never seem to resonate with Doppelganger. But now when you see the script, it's got Doppelganger crossed out and it's called Two Faces of Evil. Now, this is amazing because, and I didn't notice this when I got it off Stephen when I was looking at it, that it's actually this. Now I can tell Stephen, so I haven't told yet, this is my favourite episode of the Hammer House of Horror. And it's amazing that this is the actual script from it. And I tell you what, it's not just like two words in it, it's like got the whole lot. And it's probably copied from the original script. So I just was blown away by this. This is something that you just don't see very often or at all, or even know exists. And I love that type of thing when you get surprised by something which is so personal to yourself. Because, like I say, this is my favorite thing, doppelganger. I didn't even know what a doppelganger was. I just liked the word as well. Actually, good song title, isn't it? So not only was that amazing, Stephen also said to me, have you got any House of Hammer comics? And I said, well, you know, I had a couple, but I can't find them. I might have them in the cupboard somewhere, but I don't know if I've still got them. But I thought they were amazing actual comic. I'm going to say comic magazine. So he gave to me this. This is number 14 of the monthly comic or magazine, The House of Hammer. Now, obviously, you'll see the overhead shots now. This is absolutely incredible. When I was looking through it, there's so many things that pertain to what I've got today. Actually, there's another thing that I need to talk about here as well that he gave us, another DVD. And this it's just amazing. It's got the 1 million years BC. Now it's always a movie that you never associate with Hammer, but obviously it is. And it's got actually it's got another thing in here. It's talking about the child, which is a a section 3 video nasty, which I've watched recently. Another one, Axe, that's another video nasty in here, which is, you know, it's tying in so much. It's got a one, Film Scene News, The Exorcist 3. Can you imagine that? Walk of the Killer Whale, which is another movie I've just got. Ruby, which is meant to be sort of along the lines of Carrie, which I never heard of. Looks a bit strange. There's another one called Would You Kill a Child? Now that's going to pertain to this DVD that I'm going to show you. And just, you know, when you look at these things and you think, there's so many things in here, and there's obviously 1 million years. It talks about the dinosaurs they made. I was a massive fan of dinosaurs. It's got a big, huge write-up about Martin, you know, and some about John Carradine. And also, right at the very end, it's got a big thing about Mad magazine back issues. Now I used to collect Mad magazine and had loads of them. I've still got them, and I love that comic. Just the artwork in there is second to none. I do think I want to get, as another one, I've just noticed it here, Poster Mag, Doc Savage. That's another movie that I wanted to see. The pictures, 1975. Never got around to it. I will track it down one day. And in the last but not least, oh yes, it's got the Airfix Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex. That you can make them with Airfix kits. I did have them and I did make them, and they glowed in the dark as well, which was brilliant. And right at the very end, it does talk about the movie Suspiria. Have you ever heard of that one? So yeah, and it finishes it off with this lovely double bill poster, which would have been a double bill you could have saw with She and 1 million years BC. She's another Hammer movie that I need to get. So this is incredible. Not only is it a brilliant sort of artifact in perfect condition, but it's got lots of stuff in there that are really pertinent to my collection. So that's the House of Hammer. Now, if that wasn't enough, wait till you see these two things. Actually, I'll show you that DVD now. This is the remake of Who Could Kill a Child. Now, in here is a promo copy of Who Could Kill a Child. I think it's meant to be a little bit kind of rough going, but really interested to see this and obviously to own both copies of this movie. So that's come out to play in Who Could Kill a Child. So after all that, and we had a great chat, obviously talking about reminiscing about just yesteryear. Now, Stephen lives quite close to me. He lives in North Shields, so he knows Whitley Bay really well. So we were just talking about Whitley Bay in general and just things and just reminiscing about the past and all that type of thing. It was amazing to see, as I showed you in that video. I'm pointing over there. I don't know why I'm doing that. Was the fact that that newsagents is still there. So I had a good look at that. You know, it was a great little trip down memory lane, actually walking down to that. And I'm going to have to get back to going down to Whitley Bay. I'm going to continue my sort of talk about Whitley Bay. I can take it past the Spanish City and talk about some of the mad things that went on in there. When I'm going to try and get some pictures and line them up for the places we used to haunt when we used to be kids, you know, playing on the amusements and stuff. Also, I'm going to talk about my favourite arcade games as well. That's coming in a different video. So, what he did was he says, oh, I've got something else for you. So I says, right there, yeah, that just sounds great, you know, because obviously I just had the Hammer stuff and I had these great movies and I thought, this is brilliant. So then Stephen gave us this, the pre-cert of Happy Birthday to Me. I couldn't believe it. It's to have this now. Weirdly, I said to Stephen, I said, you read my mind here. Very recently, I thought myself, you know, I'm talking about these retro stuffs and I'm talking about pre-certs, and I haven't really got any pre-certs. I've sort of given them all away. Well, not given them all away, sold them to that bloke when that video shop I was talking about, or some of them anyway. I thought, I thought I wanted to get one just to have one, just to say this is a pre-cert. Now, it just came out that it's a band video nasty as well, a pre-cert band video nasty, and I thought this would be great to put on the shelves if I could put them on the shelves. Actually, when you come back from this overhead shot, I will probably have it over in the corner. I'm pointing over the corner, you probably can't see that. But this is just a fantastic thing to have. And this one looks like it can play quite well. So I will actually try and watch some of these if I can get my video player hooked up to my telly. I have to buy an extension either something. So I'm going to see if I can get this actually to work and actually watch one of these through, especially this one, to just say I'm watching a previously banned Video Nasty on VHS. But these tapes are just, you just don't see them anywhere. And I just couldn't believe what I saw. So I'm going to put that over there. So there you go. What I might do is sometimes, because I'm on shelf 2 at the minute, I might, when I do some videos, I might take some of the DVDs off of DVDs or Blu-rays and just put line a few sort of oddities up, you know, so you can have a look at when you're watching the videos. So anyway, if that wasn't enough, now when I went to the Video Nasty exhibition with John Hall, Nige, and Laura and Simba, and we went through that. Now I'm going to do a video on that one. You won't believe what you're going to see there. I can't show any footage from the actual the place, which is a shame because and John Hall's going to do the intro into that one. Can you believe it? So that's a good one. I'm going to talk about. I'm going to put loads of pictures of what we actually physically saw and held in this amazing exhibition. I hope it comes back. I know Stephen said he was going to go to that. You know, if it ever comes back, Stephen, and you're watching this, we've got to go and see it. We'll all get together and we'll just have a look at it because it was fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to come back because it was a massive hit. So yeah, so this is the type of thing that was in there. Now I don't know if this was there. It probably was. This fella had tapes from every single tape you could imagine, but he had a few of these tapes. Now these boxes, when you used to see in the video library, they used to attract your attention. And as you'll see when you see this one, I don't think it's not it is a preset. It's not a banned video nasty, but I don't remember it being really readily available after the fact of the video, like censoring thing. I never saw it back on the shelves. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, so the last and not least thing that Stephen gave to me was this, the preset of The Black Cat, the Lucio Fulci movie. Now, the main selling point of this is this, the VTC label. These things were legendary. It just looks incredible. I can't even describe how happy I am to have this thing. Now, I didn't know this, but it says VTC at the back. It says, what does it say? Oh, it just says on the label. It says Videotape Center. I didn't know that's what it stood for at all. I just remember the VTC ones. Now, when you saw the VTC on the shelves, they stood out. Now, I think they did this on purpose. They had gold boxes. Nobody else had gold boxes. Big boxes as well. And they had this line drawn around them, which kind of drew your eyes to this title. Now, The Black Cat is kind of frowned upon in as Lucio Fulci. It's not a great movie, but I beg to differ on that one. I really have a really good time with it. It's like I say, it's right in the middle of all his other splatter gore fests. So I urge you, anybody, and you can get it on Arrow, easy. So I urge anybody who's a fan of Lucio Fulci who doesn't really know about this The Black Cat, which is kind of more like a Hammer movie. I do urge you to get this. Now, I can't thank Stephen enough for giving me these things. And he just said, look, I'd like you to have them and you can put them in your collection. And, but the fact that I've got these things now, when I'm talking about stuff, and you've seen obviously the overhead shots where you can talk, you can look at what these things were all about. This will show you what we were looking at back in the day. And I can talk about them, I can show pictures, to my heart's content. But until you, this is a bit of history. I'm trying to liken it to something. Imagine if you had, I don't know, a favorite toy when you were a kid, and it broke and you couldn't get it anymore, and it wasn't made anymore, but you had such nostalgic memories of it, and someone just gave you that toy, and you think, I've got it now, and I look at it, and I can have it's like a time travel capsule, if that's a word. I can't. I'm struggling to find out sort of, you know, how the way to describe how I feel about owning these things, these amazing, pre-certs and that. But it's just incredible to think these things that were literally 40 years ago are now in my hands. It's just, it just baffles me to think that this 40-year-old item, which is, I know the tape has got a little bit of mold on. Some of mine's got mold on in there. It's just a bit of a unfortunate hazard when you have these VHSs that just don't like certain type of atmospheres, and it just is what it is. But the fact to have this, this just there is something else, and the spine as well with this huge black cat on it. It's just all over goodness. So, wow, what a video. I want to thank Stephen once again for taking the time out to get in touch with me and say, look, do you want any of these? And also, he didn't tell us about this one. I'm glad he didn't tell us about this one because the surprise I got with this one, I mean, it was just, it's hard to explain. It really is, it's hard to explain, but I'm really, really, really grateful to Stephen for doing this. And I just, I'm gobsmacked, literally gobsmacked. So, wow. Thanks everyone for watching this video, and obviously I love doing these retro ones. I love talking about the past and what we used to do and what we used to get up to in Whitley Bay. So all of those will be coming up. Obviously the weather at the moment, it's dry, but it's been raining constantly, so it's really hard to do them at the moment. But as soon as get some decent weather, I can go down there and start filming, like extra bits and talking about the Spanish City and all the things we used to get up to and the things that used to happen there, which were quite mad to say the least. So thanks for watching. You take care, especially you, Stephen, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.